Welcome back to the Pink Couch Podcast.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Jenny.
Welcome back, Bo.
Thank you.
As always, it's a pleasure to have you here, sequestered for an afternoon.
Sequestered in the glass house.
In the glass house where I do not throw stones.
Yes. I don't have to clean the glass house, so I don't.
Well, I have to, but I haven't. I probably should since it's sort of on camera.
Oh, this is a thing about Jenny and I is we both have sunrooms like this in our homes.
Uh-huh.
And I'm forever like, I do the windows, I need to, and bugs, I mean, it's just a lot. But
Well,
it's where my office is as well. And
there's no insulation, and there's a weird moss situation, and somebody was supposed to come today and did not.
Oh, we could have had somebody on camera. Oh, that
So that was a fun conversation with myself. The guys come in to look at the skylight at 10 o'clock. I said, okay, cool, because I'm filming at 1. He's like, oh yeah, he'll only be here like an hour. I'm like, okay. But then he didn't show up, and so...
classic moss guy, you know? They're not good at for their work.
Those moss guys, you see? I want to talk about... it just hit me. I want to talk about disappointment. And then I thought, does this make me a Debbie Downer? Bo, let's talk about failure and rejection.
Yeah.
I'm typing all this stuff. Let's talk about disappointment. Like, am I a Debbie Downer?
No, I think you've got your finger on the pulse of society right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know if my finger's on its pulse.
Yeah.
It's more like a whole hand on the neck. No, I'm just kidding. Allie Adamson wrote us a guest post. That I think I called it Dealing with Disappointment. And she talks about the story of Lazarus, honestly, in a way that I had never really reflected on. And I think because that story is always overshadowed by, well, Lazarus came back to life.
Yeah.
That's the miracle, right?
Yeah.
But the stuff leading up to that miracle is really profound.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that when Jesus showed up, Martha ran to him, but Mary didn't.
Yeah.
I never really thought about that.
2 miles, Martha runs to Jesus. Like, she is going to meet him. Like, she got a list. She's got some things to say.
Well, and so they are so close with Jesus, and their faith was, okay, he's going to show up here before Lazarus kicks the bucket, but then he doesn't.
Yeah.
And I thought, how many times have I been disappointed in the Lord?
Yeah.
And I almost feel gross saying that out loud.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us are disappointed in things, in our faith, but we don't want to acknowledge it. And that disappointment turns into a root of some bitterness and can turn into other things.
Yeah. Well, because disappointment, if there is the disappointment of losing Lazarus, yes, but what is the bigger disappointment there? That they think they found God, and if this is how God responds to them, they've lost their idea that God is good. They've lost, we thought he was our friend, and what if we have found the Lord, we have found the Messiah, and he's just not that into us? It's really, really bad.
Why did he take his time getting here?
Yeah.
When he knew our brother was dying, and he could have stopped them from dying.
Yeah. Yeah, so disappointment is a big deal because it shapes what we believe God believes about us. And I think that is such a big thing and a reason why we've got to deal with it. Like, sometimes things are just so disappointing because it feels like we've been overlooked, that we haven't been picked, that he doesn't see us, that he doesn't know us. And I think that's the innate cry of every heart, is to know that God knows us and sees us and loves us.
Life is not the 3rd grade game of kickball, okay? Like, God, we're not the kid getting picked last, but it feels that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That story, and Allie wrote about it so beautifully, and so this is really dovetails off of her piece.
Yeah.
And her observations from that, which I had honestly, I never thought about Martha going and Mary not.
Mm-hmm.
That her disappointment prevented her from going to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And that just really resonated with me. I think the first step in dealing with disappointment, let's acknowledge it, okay? Let's speak it out loud. Maybe not necessarily to somebody, but I recommend you say it to another human being.
Mm-hmm.
Saying it out loud sometimes helps you process.
Yeah.
And it becomes real. Once you've said something out loud, it becomes real.
Yeah.
And it's not just a feeling anymore.
Right.
It's, okay. And so acknowledging it. The next thing I would say is take it to Jesus. So I'm going to be like Martha in this scenario, okay? I'm going to, Lord, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
He's dead.
Yeah.
What is going on here?
Yeah.
Because do you ever think that, my kids, this is so funny. Do you ever think that, gosh, I think it's funny sometimes when I'm reading things on social media and somebody says something like, I'm going to stand up for Jesus and I'm going to defend him. And I think, well, you don't really have to defend him because he's kind of big.
Yeah.
And so I wonder sometimes if we don't take it to him, like, do we not think that his shoulders aren't big enough to handle it?
Yeah.
Like, he's big enough to handle our big feelings.
Yeah, he is. And we have been told since we were little to stop crying and straighten up, and it's not that big a deal, and shake it off. But that isn't the way Jesus parents. And so I think going back to him with all the things, even sometimes I'm like, I hate that person right now, Jesus. And I'm just going to need you to know it. So I think, always take it to him. Always just be like, even when you're disappointed in him, help me
see it.
It's like what we do with our spouses. Help me understand what went on here. Help me understand what you were thinking when you did this stupid thing. And I think it's that, except maybe not with the stupid part.
So funny, but it's so true. All right, trust in him with the details.
Yeah, because we can't figure them all out. We can't, and I will exhaust my mind trying, and I'll tie it all up in knots in my head, trying to figure out how can I fix things, especially with my kids. How do I fix things? How do I say the right thing? How do I send the right gift? How do I do the right thing so that they know how God feels about them, or whatever it is, any of them things. But I have to trust him with all of those things and know that he sets up crazy things. He does it his way.
I also like to remind people that he cares about the details.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that God cares about details, then you haven't read enough of chapters of the Bible that are talking about the begats.
Yeah.
And measurements of things in the temple.
Yeah.
What, I'm nodding off reading, so, okay. But no, it's because he cares about the details.
Yeah.
I love those passages because it reminds me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a detail person. I get hung up on details sometimes.
Yeah.
I love those because it reminds me that he cares about the details.
Yeah.
And he cares about the details of your life. And he cares about the things that are weighing heavy on your heart.
Yep. And he can be trusted with them.
Waiting.
Ick. I take that one
I would
off.
say,
I don't like that one.
I number 4, waiting on the Lord. I could write a whole book about waiting because I feel like so much of my life is waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And we have entire rooms places designated for the waiting.
Waiting rooms, yeah.
And so much happens in the waiting.
Yes.
And there's preparation happening. Mm-hmm. And there's things. Jesus knew what was going to happen with Lazarus. Jesus knew he could bring Lazarus back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like death had no power for him, right? But they had to wait.
Yeah. I even love how Jesus knew what was going to happen, and yet in that space he grieved too. And that's just really lovely that he grieved for the emotions of the people around him. He grieved maybe because he saw that his friends were so disappointed in him.
Yeah.
I mean, he is grieving too, even knowing this is going to be redeemed. He knows the sorrow we live under and shares it with us.
Well, it didn't diminish the pain.
Right.
The fact that he knew.
Yeah.
He knew what was going to happen. He knew what he was going to do and what he was capable of. But he still felt the pain.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's so good.
Yeah, wait on him is big. Wait rather than try to devise your own plan. Try to make a way to
this is
fix
bad.
it.
I'm bad.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm bad with that. It's like, okay.
Creative people are always trying to.
This is what we do?
Yeah, we're always trying to figure out ways to rule the world and fix all the issues.
A, B, and C. We're gonna, Number 5, invite him into the disappointment.
Yeah. That's so good.
And I love it when he asks Martha, where's Mary? Where you at, girl? Yeah. He wants to be invited into it.
Yeah.
Invite me into this pain. Invite me into this disappointment.
Yep.
I think I wrote something around Christmas. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. It's all a blur, isn't it, folks? But how God saw the world and came into our mess.
Yeah.
And came as this baby.
Yeah.
And it reminds me that he wants to be invited in. That he wants to be welcomed into the disappointment, into the mess. He's strong enough to handle it, folks.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think we give him enough credit.
Yeah.
That he can handle our disappointment.
Yeah.
He's not gonna make it awkward at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm disappointed in you, and I guess I'm not gonna stay for pie.
Yeah.
He's not gonna do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, and he may not fix it, but his presence is good in it. It's good to just be with him, even when you don't have the answer, even when it doesn't seem like he's making things better. It's good to not be alone in it. So invite him in. It's such a good point.
All right. That is 5 ways to deal with disappointment.
5 ways. Tell us your ways, too.
Tell us how you have dealt with disappointment. How have you been able to move on and have your faith grow?
Yeah. We want to know.
We want to know.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.